Hey guys, welcome to our movie review for the new horror film Malignant by James Wan, famous obviously for some of the Conjuring universe stuff and Aquaman. And honestly, this film has kind of elements of both in there. I don't want to say too much because I'm sure you're going to be able to see it coming from a long way away, but I don't want to say so. We're going to have a longer spoiler section here. First, I want to thank our sponsors, G Fuel. Right now, we have 30% off.
Hype
Joe's
sauce.
got that hype sauce over there. And we have our AJSA shaker cup. It would mean a lot to us if you haven't gotten a tub, G Fuel, or our shaker to get it. It actually directly supports our show. So the largest percent off, 30% off right now. Click that link below for the next 2 days, I think. So yeah, let's talk about this one. I have a smile on my face, so that's good. This is a good thing. I'm gonna try not to spoil it. Well, let me say that is this worth watching? That's why you're here, right? Is it worth watching? Yes, yes, yes. At least in my opinion. Is it a good horror? Yes, definitely. But it's not what I expected. It's kind of a mix of a lot of different things, and I like that. And I think it's well directed for what it is, and it will surprise you. What did you guys think?
I thought this was a nice casual horror movie. I did enjoy it, but I'm glad I saw this at home as opposed to a movie theater.
Yeah, so this came out on HBO Max and theaters at the same time. We got to use our theater room. I got a badass new sound system installed so for the horror jumps and things like that. So I was very excited about that. And yeah, it was more comfortable to watch it here. So
that too. But like, if I would have to pay and go see this, I would probably be a little bit disappointed. But I still,
Okay.
With this one, I did have fun with it. I'm glad I watched it once, and I'm done with this one though. But
it would be a lower score if you went to the theater.
I think so.
If you have to pay for money for this thing,
Yeah.
Well, I paid money, but you don't have to pay extra. You know, it's not like Disney where you pay extra. If you just have a subscription to HBO Max, you're good to go. So that's what we did. What do you think?
oh man,
Is this one where we completely disagree?
I think this is. You said surprising, and I was surprised. The opening sequence has some of the worst dialogue and acting I've seen in a movie in a long time. Like, there's one doctor in particular that it's like this is a big budget OJ movie some of the time, and some of the time it's really cool because this is an interesting movie. And if someone said, "Hey, do you recommend it?" I'm almost there. I'm like, man, there's some interesting stuff.
Exactly.
It's totally
Definitely recommend this.
It's thoroughly transparent. There's like something that happens, and you see what happened, and he's not clever or subtle about at any point in time.
Yeah.
There are some really great sequences that are almost worth the price of admission. There are some like really cool things that
They
happen
are
here.
worth the price.
But the thing is, like, parts of it are so bad that I don't know if he's poking fun at the genre or if it's a parody, but he never goes quite far enough, so I actually feel like I'm watching Ginger Dead Man, but with a $16 million budget.
That's perfect. Okay. So this is where we're gonna conflict here. I think that shit was done on purpose. I think the camp was ramped up. I think sort of the dialogue that feels a little 80s and campy and poorly written, as you would say, was done on purpose.
So he made a bad movie on purpose?
It's not a bad movie. That's your opinion. My opinion is not a bad movie.
There's a movie that I can't say that this is basically compared to this.
Yeah.
I would talk about it in spoilers, and I got that feel for it.
Yeah.
Though.
Okay, cool. Yeah, because you don't want to give
I
away
watched
anything.
the other one.
Yeah, this is divisive, and it certainly is. It actually test screened so badly that they decided to release it on HBO Max. Like, this is one that they're like, we have to put it on streaming.
No. The studios had decided that all the films were going to be released on HBO Max a year prior. So this was probably one of those that was in there already. But you read some stories.
Yeah,
that said,
the test screenings went terribly for them, and they had to change the strategy for Malignant. So horror movies always make money. They always make money, so it's always a safe bet. So this one is going to be like people are going to love it or they hate it. So
well, from what I understand, is just the companies released like this is only going to be on HBO Max for 31 days, and then they remove it, and then you have to go to the theaters to see it. So that was just the agreement. So if you have HBO Max, you want to see it now before they remove it, and you have to spend money later. They did that for In the Heights as well. Okay, so interesting. You guys have a little bit different opinion on it, but I'm wearing this shirt for a particular reason. I think that it has the feeling of, you know, the old Freddy's and some of these, you know, slasher kind of things, but also the horror and paranormal elements. Is it as good as these? No, it's not as good as Freddy. Freddy's got so many things to pull from. And
It's better than The Nun.
yeah.
Yeah.
You saw that.
Way better than The Nun.
None. It's better than some of these, but not others. So that's kind of where it gauges in all these horror legends. I'm not sure if y'all can see that. You can see this shirt in our Dead by Daylight video. Anyways, so what I want to say is that I think it had really great shots that are creative. She's running throughout the house like this fucking entity and scares. You know, whatever is going on, you get it from a top view, almost like it's a dollhouse, and she's like running through. I like that. They do kind of they push it a little too far in certain elements where it's just constant sweeping shots. You know, the shot that like the camera swings around in a 360 degree. They've got some slow-mo and stuff. But it's definitely creepy for sure in some of it. And it combines elements of different genres. I don't want to say too much more than that. But one thing that I did think was a little off was like the music.
That's where the campy part kind of came in.
Yeah, the campy part there, and right, they probably been doing that, but it like lasts only for like 15 seconds. You know what I mean?
Immediately sucks you out.
And then
everything.
it kind of sucks you out of the moment and makes you go, what? You know, but you can have campy, but you could still have like the appropriate music for that, but that you'd be campy on top of it instead of having the music being campy on top of the thing. But I think part of it was that the theme would play a lot because they're trying to. It seemed like it's like a franchise. It wants to be, you know, a franchise like a Freddy or Jason or a Pumpkinhead, which I think this is better than Pumpkinhead. You know, so I liked it, and I thought it was well directed, well acted, some satisfying scenes, and James Wan definitely puts in his Aquaman epic budget. There's scenes where you could tell that, I mean, her sister rolls up to this is not spoilers, it just rolls up to, you know, this old hospital asylum, and she like parks right next to the cliff,
like,
you
what
know,
are you
and then it's a
doing?
wide shot. You see the moon and you see the cool things. You can tell that it's all kind of amped up to 11 there. And some of the scenes, I almost would say it turns into an action movie, you know? So I think because there's all these elements in it, because it was well directed and well acted, yes, there are stupid parts, but I think that it was kind of, you know, campy on purpose to get that 80s feeling. But anyway, so I think you should see it. So, you want to say some more on it?
I mean, this to me, this felt like if someone was like, "Hey, I want to remake The Goonies," it's just like, fucking why? And so like there's a special
What?
so this like
The
he's trying to recreate the feelings of like these 80s movies, right? So he's trying to poke fun and embrace the camp of Nightmare on Elm Street and some of these ones. And so if you have someone who doesn't quite get it trying to remake The Goonies, they're going to have the same issues where it's just like, I get what you're going for, you just didn't do it successfully for me to buy into this movie. So I don't know. I
thought it was fucking awesome.
We were laughing on how bad it was, but not in like.
I was like,
we're not laughing
at how good bad it was, because there's bad. Alex, come on, you've seen some bad films.
Yeah,
you know
and
this is
parts of this
good,
movie were
bad.
one of them. Like
Okay, well, you
parts
have
of
to
this
tell
movie,
me,
like
tell me in
like the
in
opening
spoilers.
sequence, like you said, good acting. There is some unforgivably bad acting in a $60 million or whatever the budget for this movie is.
The doctor.
There's a side doctor. It's not the main lady doctor, but there's a side doctor. I mean, his face, his delivery, the lines at the end. Man, it's
like TV acting.
So
It's just like-
that 5-minute intro section ruined the whole film.
well,
for
no, I
you.
mean you're talking about good acting, and it's like that is
Scam.
no, no. I mean, like
All right, all right.
it's someone who's trying to make a campy movie that doesn't quite do it well.
I will say, and we'll get more into it in the spoiler section. There was one inconsistent part of the film is the power level. The power level
That's
of
what I was gonna
this
say.
entity,
Like, it
this
was very
whatever.
unclear.
It's unclear, and I think that was just purely bad writing. Where
yeah.
it's like in this moment, it is super powerful, and in this moment, oh no, don't worry about it. You know. So we'll get to that more. So let's go into final verdicts then.
For me, I'm gonna give this a 6. It's still enjoyable. I did like it. I watched it. I do like it. It was kind of campy, as Alex said. It was like one of these B movies
Slightly
that I would
above
watch.
average.
But with a higher budget. I do like the cinematography. It was well shot. Kind of like the visions I liked whenever it kind of gave me like a Silent Hill kind
Yeah.
of thing. Like everything is kind of like dripping down.
Oh, yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
it's I like that. It was pretty cool. The action and like the killing. It was good. I'm going to go with the 6 for this one.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to go just a little lower with a 5. I think there's some things that really elevate this movie. I think that there's some great slasher aspects. There's some really cool visuals, some cool camera angles. And then I just think that the writing really drags this down. There's awkward music. There's awkward scenes. There's awkward acting. And if you were trying to make it like, oh, hey, these other movies were bad too, it's like, well, we don't love those movies because the acting specifically was bad or the dialogue was bad. So it's just, I don't know. It just didn't resonate with me at all, and I don't know if I would recommend that someone go see this one.
Wow. Okay. Well, we
Like
got
I said,
different opinions.
If it's streaming, check it out.
Yeah.
Let me ask you, Joe, did you like it better than Candyman, or you like Candyman better?
I probably like this one better because the other one kind
How
of.
about this? The Conjuring, The Devil Made Me Do It.
Oh God, this one.
Yeah.
Yeah, this
What
one.
about Spiral?
I haven't seen it.
Okay, I'll tell you it's better than Spiral. The Forever Purge, I didn't see. I'm just looking at some of the horror movies. I think it's one of the better horror movies released this year. I don't think it will be the best. That we've got some good ones coming up called, Halloween Kills is coming. Last Night in Soho. I don't think Resident Evil. Well, I hope Resident Evil is going to be good.
really an
And then there's,
action
I think Antlers. I've been waiting for that for a long time.
Oh, yeah, that one looks
yeah.
good.
So I guess I liked it better than these guys. I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10, with the understanding that it's purposefully campy, it's over the top, it's unexpected with the blending of genres and the reveal. You see it coming from a mile away, but it's still satisfying when it is revealed what's going on. So, anyways, we'll jump into spoilers now. Thank you all so much for watching, and we'll go to argue with each other.
Yeah.
Okay. So stick around for the spoilers. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you on the next Angry Joe Show. Bye, guys. Okay, welcome to the spoiler section.
Okay.
What is it?
This is the one that I wanted to talk about.
Yeah.
1980s. This movie called
1980s.
Basket Case. I
Oh,
don't know if
I've
you've ever
seen
seen
Basket
it. Okay,
Case.
that's what I was thinking. I was like, that's
I've
exactly what
seen
it is.
Basket
It's Siamese twins.
Yeah.
They didn't want to get separated, so now they're stalking the
This
doctor.
this was
I was like,
Basket Case.
Yes, it
only
was. That's
instead of
exactly
being
what
in
I
a
was-
basket, it's one person, and the big reveal. So they try to play with your mind. They try to
Yeah.
say, is it paranormal? Is it a house haunting at first? And I think it executes a house haunting really well. Like she's got an asshole boy. It's all cliche, right? She's got an asshole boyfriend that's watching
dumb
MMA, and he
moves.
like wants to beat her up when she gets home. She's like, I'm tired from work. He's like, shut up, bitch. You know, you're miscarrying my children, because they had like 3 babies and they've all been miscarried. So he slams her head against the wall, and then she starts crying, and like, he's like, oh baby, don't worry. But then later on at night, the lights start to flicker, and he gets motherfucking killed in a very brutal way, and they show that. I like when they show the brutalness of the entity, this like black entity is like watching TV, and the channels are flickering, and it attacks him, and then it seemingly attacks her because she's like closes the door on, and the door like explodes and everything. So it plays around with you. Cops show up. It's like, okay, who's going on here? And then more people start to die. But these are people that the cops slowly are figuring out are connected to her in some way. And in these flashback scenes that Alex was talking about at the beginning, there's a doctor and then like a hospital asylum, and it seems like they have a special patient, and they hide it. There's like a creature or whatever. It's like, but that's all they show. They don't show anything else, and they're like, all right, it's time to cut the malignant out or cut the cancer out. And turns out that she's got the twin in the back of her head, and he was like kind of like a little baby.
Yes.
It was real disgusting looking, and they look at lots of VHS tapes as they're trying to discover her past, and they were conjoined twins essentially, but the way they describe it is it's a tumor that has arms and head and eyes and stuff.
The thing I kind of found funny is like, oh, we have these VHS tapes from 1993. They make it seem so long ago. I was like, but that's mine.
Yeah,
I was like, oh god,
I remember that.
we're getting so
VHS
old.
tapes.
We're
That's
getting so
crazy.
old.
Oh, I found a big box of old. Yeah. Anyways, but they play around with that in the sense that they look like they're two different people. It looks like a paranormal angle because he can kind of like show up in spaces. And in fact, one scene in particular, the cop is in the same room with her. You see, at least the camera is like, she's in the room and she's like screaming at him. He's still here, the killer. And he's like shooting. And then he looks in the mirror and you see the entity in the corner. But it turns out that she is the killer. And that when she's standing there, it's
She's
just like
parasitic,
her in her own mind witnessing all the things that he is doing while he's controlling her body. But they do that well initially because it keeps you guessing. Because I was like, oh, well, I guess he is a separate entity there. And he's, I don't know, they cut him out. And you think, okay, well, they cut him out and they threw him away in the trash. And then he crawled out of the trash.
That's
or
what I was
something.
thinking. I was like, oh, basket case.
Yeah, basket case. But he makes a home in her attic. She never knows he's there. And like he does, his like home base. They incorporate another thing really. There's a lot of locations in the movie that I like and I thought was well shot. One thing they like to do is Seattle has an underground. I didn't even know this, where, the city is kind of built on top of it. So there's still like old city streets and shops and shit in the fucking basement at level, carriages, and he kind of makes a home there as well, or knows his way around. I don't know how she does that, but I wonder if it has anything to do with their mother, who we have this female character, like we don't understand why he captures her, and then strings her up in the attic of her home. And it turns out that that's the mother that gave away the baby to the hospital. And then all these doctors were trying to help her. And then they realized, we can't help. We're going to cut it out. So obviously this monster of a brother, Siamese brother, has this, a revenge to kill all the people involved. So, yeah.
Since, that thing was kind of creepy. I liked the way he looked. Like it just comes out of her whenever she transforms. I like that. I do like that.
Here's the two payoffs that I really liked. And you can see it coming from my way. They throw her, so as shit is going down, they throw her into a jail. Right? And in this jail cell, the camera makes a point to show how many people are in the jail cell with her, and then some fucking assholes are in the jail with that lady with the mullet party in the back got to come over and mess with her while she's free, while she's like, you take a look at her like, I'm not messing with that girl, right? But no, they want to come mess with her, pay me money and shit if you want protection.
Like, what are you in for? You missed your way or something
Your
from
country
the country
club.
or
Yeah,
something.
something like
So they all start kicking her, and you think, okay, well, she has a psychic link with her brother because her brother keeps showing her all the killings that he's doing, and that's what Joe is talking about, that the Silent Hill kind of world falls away, and she's in two locations at once kind of thing. But it turns out, she's just in her head the whole time, and he's making her see what she wants to see. Well, I thought that, because there was a possibility she could have still been separate at that point. And then he would know that she's getting beat up by all these people, and then he would show up. But no, it turns out that as they're watching these VHS tapes, they realize he is still inside of her body. The doctors, when they said cut her out, they said, yeah, we'll cut out the big pieces, but it is parasitic, and if we remove it, she's gonna die. And so there's like one little piece left of his like face, and then they gotta like
Shove it in the
shove
skull.
it
Push it in there,
his
like,
skull,
"Ah."
and then just close the skull back up. It was like, ugh. And so then you have this awesome reveal where
I
they're
did like
fucking
that.
with her, and all of a sudden she's like freaking out, and then like her back of her head like cracks open, and then and
running
everybody's
backwards.
like, what the fuck? And she's like, yeah. And you had noticed that before, and that's when you can kind of tell it coming. You're like, are they the same person because she's walking backwards?
like, what's wrong
or
with him?
has he just gotten used to walking backwards because when he was like in her back, right? So you don't know that, but it turns out that she can contort And she starts killing everybody.
Yeah, it's really satisfying.
Really,
she goes through, she kills everyone in the cell, she kills everyone in the police station, everyone in the police
That's
station.
what I was saying, Terminator. I was like, please let there be another sequence where all the cops are like, all right, what the fuck? And so everybody's shooting, and she's doing butterfly kicks and flips and all sorts of stuff with the freaky, head.
Yeah,
it's her that we've known from the whole film. Now, it does look like a mask sometimes.
Well, it is her fake mask. But, I mean, it's really cool. Like, this is one of the scenes that I really like. Yeah. He definitely embraces, like, we're going slasher, we're going action. And so this was a good one.
But then that was the inconsistent thing, because earlier when she was in the same location with the cop, kind of confusing you, think, oh, it's a separate entity. He chases that fucking entity. He does not give up. He chases her brother down the fucking stairwell, out the building, through the fucking underground streets of Seattle, around carriages. They have a little fight scene there. And when he's fighting it, he's actually getting the upper hand. Mm-hmm. It seems like her brother is not that great of a fighter initially, because he's like, boom, and the brother's like, whoa. And I think it may have been that he actually shot and there was a bullet wound on him.
That's what I was thinking too. I was like, okay, well, would she not remember that? Because she would have
she would have a wound somewhere on her body. We might have found a little plot hole there if her brother did get shot.
Like he did get wounded.
And that was the explanation for his weakness. Because later on in the film, like, he takes on fucking 20 cops.
This thing could kill 4 John Wicks.
Yeah, and flipping through the air and shit. So avoiding bullets.
So
that power level is what I was saying was inconsistent. Anyway, the full reveal was still fucking awesome, even though you could see it coming, and it was
they
glorious.
Really heavily foreshadowed what was happening.
Yeah. So. So now and then basically because he views her as trying to replace him with all these other family members, because she went into a foster home, and they were having a baby, and it would be like her stepsister, but in her eyes it's a real sister. So he wanted to kill her. As a child, was like whispering, and she would call him Satan, because he'd still be with her, and she was about to use a knife to kill her little sister still in the womb, but she screams. She realizes, she wakes up.
And she was seeing a cake. It's just cut the cake.
But apparently that foster family didn't get rid of her, because her little sister is born, and they formed.
You've never done a sleep stabbing?
No.
Yeah, it's like sleepwalking.
I'm sure the foster family be like, you gotta take back this kid.
Yeah, no.
Tell me what the hell's wrong with her. I don't want to sleep with one eye open.
Well, that's the thing. They've all kept it a secret, from her and these doctors and shit.
Yeah, see, flashes like that is one of the issues that I had with the movie, because like that part is really interesting. Imagine a little girl who has a parasite in her brain that can create entire worlds. She's walking through VR and only sees, she thinks she's cutting a cake, and really she's about to cut into the pregnant belly of her foster mom. Mm-hmm. That is a cool concept. That's a cool movie I want to jump into.
Yeah, and they didn't explore that
Instead,
too
we
much,
follow around Officer K, who every woman wants to bang for some reason. Every woman in this movie wants to bang. And it's
Officer
just like
Shaw.
K Shaw. Yeah, and it's just like every chick's just like, what's up? And they don't go anywhere with any of these things.
Regina, and he's got this partner who's takes no shit.
It's
from
not
anybody.
Wanda Sykes.
It's like, motherfucker, yeah, not Wanda Sykes, Regina, and she's. I like how, I forgot to mention this in the review, it kind of increased the score for me, is it has cool situations where the cops and other people actually encounter, see, and deal and interact with this thing. Because you know how in all horrors are like, it's in your head, don't worry about it, and they just miss the one, and it's like, you're crazy. No, they do that a little bit at first, but then they're like, what the fuck? They're interacting with this shit, and I like those kinds of situations. And anytime I would say, well, this doesn't make sense, and they would say this, they would say that. So to me, it had that common sense dialogue where if this shit was actually happening, they would say something that real people would actually say, and it's kind of script doctored in that way, in a good way. At least I thought.
But for me also, they had the tropey victims doing stupid shit.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's to be expected.
Yeah, in a horror film. But anyways, do I think it's as good as, some of these? Yeah, some of them, but not others. So I would put it at a mid-tier horror franchise rather than a high tier. It's definitely not low tier. And so at the end, Still doing some spoilers here, right? So, who does she end up? What is the body count? Who does she
The
end
body
up killing
count,
at
hundreds.
Yeah, she
The
kills.
police officer.
She kills an entire police
that's
station
right.
full of people.
Hundreds.
Hundreds, and then the film never deals with it. But I'm like, okay, so is she going to jail, or are they saying that she did it, or that he did it, and he's not her legally? He's a different person, or are they gonna?
How are you gonna explain
How
that?
are
The
you gonna
thing's
explain it?
gone.
I don't know.
the
That's what I'm saying.
videotapes.
But they don't deal with that. It just ends. They have the mother and the stepsister in the same hospital room, and
The fake
they have the
out.
final thing there where her brother is going to kill both her mother and their mother and the stepsister, and the stepsister is able to reach out to her and pull her out of her subconscious because she's obviously still in there. And then she realizes that she can do the same thing to him, where it's like make him see whatever
share the same
she wants.
mind. Now
And
I
so
have all
in
your
his mind,
powers.
like he shoves the fucking hospital bed and actually crushes her stepsister, and now he's got a gun to her head and actually shoots her and then like fucking suffocates his mother. But then it turns out that didn't happen because she's in control now. And then it fades away and they're in a black area in their mind, and she's like, well, no, you're in prison now. And how dare you take all it's my
Like,
body.
I'll get out of here soon.
He's shaking on the
Yeah.
waiting.
mind prison.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And then
through-
the shot pulls out, and because he has, and it was documented in the stupid movie way that like electro analysis or whatever says that he can fuck with
Manipulates,
electricity and stuff, and he speaks through radios and cell phones. He can make phone calls apparently with his mind, but so the light. You expect it to flicker. Doesn't flicker. It hums. So it's saying he's very weak right now, and then in the future, he could break out again. So they could do a sequel, and they do want. It does seem like they do want to do a franchise. I'd be willing to see another one. And but this time I'll be waiting for you, or I'll be ready for you. She says, because she was pretty much asleep the whole time. I don't know how they're gonna do it.
I was like, how are they gonna do it? You already know the twist. So
she
it's
should
just
be
gonna
in
a
jail
mind,
for killing
like
all
a
them
mind
cops.
battle.
Well, in order to get out of jail, I already know. She's going to be in prison, a female prison. They're going to slam her head into the back of something in a prison fight, and he's going to be
What have you
reemerged.
done?
And they're going to escape from prison, and then they're going to be, and they'll have to bring back the stepsister, the cop, and Regina. We
She's
never
alive.
really saw what Regina, like, she got slashed across the stomach.
She's
She's
just
just
waiting for
fine.
the paramedics.
Yeah,
They're
she's fine.
with that
Oh,
chick.
okay,
They're like,
okay, I
just
didn't
go
understand.
without me. And that's
Okay.
it.
So they'll bring those characters back, and this time they'll probably kill off Regina. They'll probably kill the com. If they want to do like multiples in franchise, you have to have a body
Yeah,
count.
the thing was too, like the cop goes in and he's like freeze, but like in the other scene he broke his arm, didn't he, with a chair?
Well, the sister also knocks the cop down or prevents the cop from killing her sister, and then she immediately grabs the gun and does the exact same thing that the cop did.
Yeah.
Like,
Don't shoot her! Hey,
I
You
get,
son of a bitch.
If we're giving him the benefit of the doubt,
Do
and he's
something.
and he's
Shoot the
going,
fucking guy.
if he's going for
But he was
100%
gonna do a
camp,
butterfly kick anyway, Alex.
who?
The entity. So even if
Gabriel.
Gabriel.
Oh,
We forgot
okay.
his name.
Yeah, too cringy. It passed the camp mode for me and went well beyond into cringy, and I can't. I
So
fucking can't.
when he was in the police headquarters, there's a wide open area, and they're all shooting him and stuff. And I just thought the kung fu or whatever, the backwards person kung fu
is
was
he
pretty
doing the
good.
crab
Yeah.
walk?
And crab walk. I
Oh,
thought it
all
was
that
fun.
stuff was great.
I thought it was fun. And then also, so the two cops that actually do kind of, have a higher power level than the other cops are the ones that we know. And they're still alive, and he's trying to escape, but last minute he picks up a chair. He's like, "Fuck you guys!"
Yeah.
He throws it across the room for no reason.
It's both of them.
Well, Regina puts her gun down and then picks up a stick, and because they want to have a
Yeah, that
Regina-
was. Oh, thank you for bringing that up.
Yeah,
because he kind of has him dead to rights. The guy cop Shaw comes in, he gets beat up, and then Regina comes to try to save him, but instead she saves him with a fucking baton. When in the last scene she had a fucking gun and
Yeah.
a bop bop bop.
It was too soon for that.
I know, I know, but you have to have those
Yeah.
little things here and there written. I mean, you don't have to actually
Is this
write it.
better
like
than
that.
Hellraiser 8?
Oh,
Hellraiser
for sure.
8, yeah.
More likely.
But Henry's in that one.
I don't think there is an 8, but there's damn near close to it.
No, I
and
think there
all
is.
of the
Henry
recent
Cavill's in
ones
that one, I thought.
sucks.
He's like an online one, like 3, 4. I don't remember.
No, it's not. It's not 8. I hope they do another Hellraiser and do it justice because it's anyways. I liked Malignant. I think it's worth a watch, and it's better than some of these other
if you like
kind
this,
of horror movies that have come
and
out.
you haven't
this year.
seen Basket Case, check out Basket Case as well.
Kind of same thing. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I don't want to talk about in spoilers because it's like it's same principle. It's like a Siamese twin.
Yeah.
They got surgery. Now they're gonna go kill the doctor.
Did I ever give my score?
You gave it an 8.
You gave it an 8,
Okay, I think so. Okay, good. Yeah, I think it's about an 8. All right, guys. Thank y'all. Is that it? Is there anything else that we wanted to cover? Any side characters? So he basically, the brother Gabriel killed all the doctors. So there's no doctors left, right?
Yeah.
There's just the mother characters left. They gave up the
sister.
baby at 15. Said that she got raped and then you had this disfigured baby and she gave it up to the hospital. Stepsister's still around. Yeah, so there's a
Adopted
little
mom.
bit of material to work with. I mean, when some of these other horror franchises are given nothing to work with and they make a sequel, this one definitely has material for a sequel, and I wouldn't mind seeing it if James Wan handles it, because I think he brings a certain style to it, a certain element to it that makes it
I
weird,
like the shots.
campy, different.
Nah, it'll be a new director, but he'll produce it just like he's been doing. So
Yeah.
he's going to be like, this is going to be,
It'll
they're going to
probably
be
be
Malignant 2. Oh, no, Benign.
Conjuring.
It'll be called
Benign.
It'll be called Benign, and it'll be directed by a director that unironically makes it a campy cringe fest. And it's like, no, this is good writing.
Yeah. It'll probably go downhill from here. But I think it's worth a watch. Anyways, guys, thank y'all so much for watching. Please check out our links down below. We've got the best
good
deal
stuff.
yet on G Fuel. So if you want to stay up late to watch horror movies, you want to stay up late to
I love doing
play
that.
Madden and
No.
NBA 2K, you're going to need that kind of stuff in order to get through it. We need it. So thank y'all so much for watching, and we will see you on the next Angry Joe Show.
Bye, guys.